they probably should have had a video that they click on the video, it explains the whole thing in 1 minute, so everyone knows what's going on, not just... Challenge accepted. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to Media Academy Online. I recently created a video talking about the Premiere Access concept which Disney has created for the film Mulan, which this was a film that was meant to go into cinemas, but because of the pandemic, it wasn't able to do that. And on my entertainment news video, I also discussed this and how a lot of people don't quite understand what it is, and also a lot of people don't really see the value in spending $30 to $35 just to see this one film early. Because a lot of people don't quite understand that this is a replacement for going to see it in the cinema and all the issues that that causes. Now, I can't believe I'm making a third video on this topic, but since one of you guys left a comment asking how this would all look, I really thought it's time for me to really just show you. Let's go through the processes, let's create a promo video and really create something that hopefully people would see more value in rather than just having access to this film early. Let's run with this concept and really explore what it would be worth it for the viewer, and so they could really get the $30 to $35 worth. My challenge is to rebuild this concept from the ground up and add in additional features, but they can't cost too much for them to create because they still have to make money at the end of the day. Secondly, I'm going to make a promo video explaining this, which is one thing that I commented on, explaining how they really needed a promo video explaining it. So we're also going to create that. So the first thing to look at is, I think my chips are ready. 1 second. Anyone for a chip? Cooked them in the air fryer. It's a very, very handy machine to have. All right, so back to it. So if you didn't know, I'm a filmmaker and a TV commercial creator. So thinking about the branding and the marketing of things like this is my bread and butter. So I plan to break down all the steps and the things you need to consider when thinking about how to brand something like this and explain it from a marketing or a consumer point of view. Okay, so the first point of the three is, what is the problem? So we have to identify what the problem is. Secondly, we need to explain a solution to that. And thirdly, we need to plus it. And see, that's funny because we're talking about Disney Plus and we need a plus Disney Plus. Anyway, so the first of all, and this is what I think Disney didn't do at all, and that was probably the first problem. They needed to discuss what the problem is. Well, in Disney's case, the problem is all the cinemas are closed, so they can't release their film, and no viewer can actually go and see that film. The solution to that is we've got this new way of showing it to you, this Premiere Access. This is our way of getting you to see this film even with the cinemas closed. And then the third one is we have to plus it. We have to add something in it to make it worth it. Now, when we're discussing plussing, there's two options. A, we can plus it by adding in more features, and B, we can plus it by making it cheaper or more convenient than the previous options. Now, I'm not going to worry about the latter because yes, it might be more convenient, but you're losing the whole experience of going and seeing the film in the cinemas. So we're going to disregard that and we're going to go to the first option, which is plussing by adding in more perceived value. Now that word is very specific because perceived value, the customer can see more value in what you're giving them. And at the moment, they're just giving you a single film. So personally, I don't think that's enough to get people across that line to pay that extra money, especially when they're already paying money. And going to the cinema has a lot of perceived value. So they have to compete having a higher price tag than going to the cinema. That's what they're competing against. The perceived value of going to the cinema is you've got the whole experience, you've got the night out, you're getting out and you're having an experience. So we need to counteract this perceived value in this Premiere Access product. So how are we going to do that? So this is my idea. We've got the movie Mulan. Of course, that's already added, but that personally I don't think is enough. So we need to add more to this package. We need to create a package that they get with this cost. Something that can be done very cheaply and easily since it's already filmed is create an in-depth behind the scenes that really goes behind the scenes of everything. They've already got the footage, they've created some behind the scenes for YouTube, but I think we really need like a in-depth behind the scenes, go through the process, get some of the filmmakers involved and make a really in-depth behind the scenes process so people can really explore that film. That's a great option for people who really want to explore that world and the filmmaking and what's behind it. And that can be done by just hiring a few editors or getting a few editors to create some videos and re-edit them and a few voiceovers and get it done. The next thing you could add in is exclusive interviews. Now they might already have interviews filmed because usually you see small snippets of them getting interviewed. I would suggest having in-depth interviews that go for 15 minutes, half an hour, even an hour if you're really, really brave, and just have really in-depth videos where they're just discussing what's going on. They're discussing what's involved. Thirdly, I think getting it interactive, getting some games in there for the kids is a great option. Creating some basic HTML5 games. So for instance, it could be, you know, design your own Mulan costume or something like that, and throw in a few other just easy games. And once they've designed their own costume, get a social element in so they can post that on their Facebook and say, look what I designed, kind of thing. And that will get other people to want to sign up and do the same. So it's great for marketing also. Grab some games you've already got, chuck some new graphics in it, you know, like a puzzler or something, chuck some new graphics in, done, add it into this service. And then lastly, add in just graphics, add in wallpapers, add in avatars, add in all the graphics and things that people can download and repost and do fun things with. It might take a few more weeks to get all these elements put together, but it can be done. And then the last thing is getting all these elements together and putting it all into a web page basically, where they can click on it and access the Premiere Access page, and you can scroll down and access all of these different features. Now that takes us to the last step, which is the promo. So in this promo, we need to answer those 3 points that I mentioned. All in that one video. It has to be short, simple, quick, 1 minute, explains all of those points. And they should see this video before they actually go any further, so they know exactly what it is, and answering those questions won't have everyone questioning it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create what this could look like, as well as make the promo video. I'll also look at the whole UI and how it will look on a web page, and we'll see what I can come up with. So Disney, this is all fair use, so don't try and give me a copyright claim, please. So with that said, I'm going to jump on the computer and I'll show you the process, building up all the elements, and then I'll show you the final product. I didn't have a lot of time to spend on this project. I only had a few hours. So I started by opening up a notes program and fleshing out a simple script that touches on the 3 major points I mentioned earlier on in this video. So that is, what is the problem, what's the solution, and what are the extra features within this service. I then opened up Photoshop and did a super quick mock-up of how I imagine a layout like this could potentially look. I then jumped online and dug up some footage for the video. Since I didn't have a lot of time to spend on this, I would use old games from the 90s as placeholders to give a representation of possible games available on this service. And I also managed to find a costume designing game. So it wasn't exactly a warrior costume, but for this instance, it's close enough. I then recorded myself doing a voiceover in the best American accent I could do, so please don't be too harsh on my terrible attempt. Then it was a matter of finding a suitable soundtrack and creating the final product. To finish, I created some pop-up displays to show how people might discover a service like this. And with all that, let's see the final product. "2020 has halted the cinema experience and created a barrier on how people around the world can see their favourite characters on the big screen. Because of this, Disney is bringing the cinema to you, along with a host of other exclusive bonus material to keep you and your family immersed for days. We are inviting Disney Plus members to access this cinematic experience right from their living room. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to delve in deep into the world of Mulan, which is now available at just a press of a button. Be the first to see the blockbuster, but also as part of this exclusive experience,
go behind the scenes and remove the veil into this magical land and see how the filmmakers brought this film to life. See exclusive, never seen before interviews with the cast and crew. Download posters, wallpapers, and avatars from the film. Play a host of exclusive games, including designing your own warrior costume and sharing it with friends. And all of this will be available at a single once-off price. This premiere access is only available for this blockbuster, so sign up and be transported today. Mulan Premiere Access.
So what did you think of my concept? Since people were asking, I thought it'd be worth exploring what it might look like and how we can make more value for the customer without necessarily costing too much. Because I think as soon as you jump into the home cinema experience, you can't really justify the price differences, especially when you go to the cinema, you're sharing that money with the cinemas and there's more costs involved with that. So I hope when you watch that, you could at least see my concept and how I think it really needed to be redeveloped and recreated. So with that said, I'd love to know what your thoughts were. Did you actually think that my idea is pretty cool, or do you think that it's just a waste of time? I'd love to hear what you think. So make sure you leave me a comment down below. Make sure you do subscribe because really we're small and we really want to grow. We're doing our best to grow, but it's hard this day and age trying to get noticed by the algorithm. So do me a solid, like, subscribe, ring that bell. Be awesome. And if you can think of anything else that could be cool being added to a package like this, please let us know in the comments down below. So with that said, I'll see you in the next one. See you later.